When my flight was canceled that night, I thought it was just another inconvenience in a long week of business travel. It was past midnight when I finally managed to get a different flight home. By the time I reached my driveway, the sky was dark and silent, and my watch showed 3 a.m. I was exhausted, dragging my suitcase behind me, longing only for my bed and the comfort of my home. As I reached the porch and quietly turned the key in the door, I noticed a faint glow of light coming from the living room. I paused. My wife, Clara, was never one to stay up late. Maybe she couldn't sleep without me home, I thought. I opened the door slowly, and before I could even step inside, a man's voice rang out, startled and confused. "Baby, who's at the door?" For a second, the world froze. My breath caught in my throat, and I stood perfectly still. The voice wasn't loud or angry, just surprised, sleepy, and unaware that someone else had entered. I didn't say a word, unsure how to even begin to process what I just heard. Then Clara appeared from the hallway, wearing a long robe, her eyes wide as she realized I was standing there. "Evan," she whispered, disbelief written all over her face. "You're home." The flight got canceled. I managed to say quietly, "Who's here?" Before she could answer, the man stepped into view, tall, in a gray hoodie, holding a mug of tea. But as soon as he saw me, he froze, his expression turning from relaxed to nervous. For a heartbeat, the silence between us was unbearable. Then Clara spoke. "Evan, this is Daniel, my brother." I blinked. "Your brother?" She nodded quickly. "Yes, he arrived last night. He didn't want to bother you. It was so late, and I didn't think you'd be back until tomorrow." Daniel gave a small, awkward smile. "Hey, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. Clara told me you were out of town. I was just crashing here for the night." Relief washed over me, though my heart still raced. I hadn't met Daniel in years. He had moved abroad, and contact had been minimal since their parents passed away. I exhaled deeply, feeling slightly foolish for jumping to the worst conclusion. Clara guided me to sit, offering tea, while Daniel returned to the guest room to give us space. For a while, neither of us spoke. The clock ticked softly, and outside, the rain began to fall. Then Clara sighed. "You thought something else, didn't you?" she asked gently. I hesitated. For a moment, yes. I didn't expect anyone to be here, and the way he spoke. She smiled faintly, but there was sadness in her eyes. "I should have told you he was coming. I just didn't want to interrupt your work. You always look so tired when you travel." Her words stung, not because they were harsh, but because they were true. I had been so focused on my projects, my deadlines, and my meetings that our conversations had become shorter, colder. I couldn't remember the last time I'd asked about her day without checking my phone. "I'm sorry," I said softly. "I've been so busy trying to make life better for us that I forgot to actually be here for us." Clara reached for my hand, her touch warm and forgiving. "I know you've been working hard, but sometimes I just wish you'd see how much I miss you, even when everything seems fine." We sat there for a long while, talking quietly about the small things we'd both ignored, the moments we let pass without appreciation. The misunderstanding that had just happened wasn't about another person. It was a reflection of how far apart we drifted in silence. By the time the sky began to lighten, the tension between us had softened into something tender and real. Daniel came out with his bag, ready to leave early for his next stop, and I helped him load his things into the car. He smiled knowingly and patted my shoulder before heading off. When I walked back inside, Clara was standing by the window, watching the dawn. I walked over, wrapping my arms around her. For the first time in a long while, I didn't think about work or the clock or my next flight. I just stood there with her, present, quiet, grateful. That morning, as sunlight filled the house, I realized something simple yet profound. Misunderstandings are bound to happen when people stop truly communicating. But with honesty and patience, even the smallest moment of confusion can turn into a reminder of what really matters: love, trust, and being there for one another. Moral communication isn't just about words. It's about showing up, listening, and never assuming the worst.